Welcome back into the basement where there is power.
Yeah, now.
Yes. Didn't think we were going to have a show this week. Wasn't sure I was going to get time to have things edited. Lucky you did not have to go through that day and a half experience.
It flashed a little bit, but yeah, there weren't any poles of transformers on them down around me.
Yeah. Certainly a very wicked storm rolled through. My wife was stuck in Milwaukee for like 3 or 4 hours before she could get home, and Monday was quite the weather event, and we hope everyone has power and is safe. I know we're back here in my basement with power. You've been okay. Mom, I think, is still struggling. I don't know that they have power out there yet, out by the Porter County Airport, but yeah,
I know. Big Daddy posted a video. They got hit pretty hard too.
Yeah. Our thoughts go out to him and the company he's with there, as they lost a building, it looks like. And I think Frankfort, Illinois, that area did get hit with some sort of tornado. Haven't seen numbers on it yet because I haven't had power. But now I can get caught up on all my news, all my editing, and we can have a show this week. I was concerned that there wasn't going to be a show. And, I mean, we get the messages about the photos, Sunday. I think we got one from Travis Kaler out of Morris, Illinois, who made his way down to Shady Hill and ended up capturing the modified win out there, looking for some photos. And I had to break the news to him and our buddy TJ Larson getting behind the wheel of Kyle Cooper's late model while Cooper and his family were on vacation at the PDC, which we'll get to talk about here in a little bit. And TJ ended up winning his first late model feature, which means he's ahead of you, Travis. Better get on it. But anyway, they both reached out looking for photos, and I'm about halfway through right now, and it's Tuesday night, and my wife and I were out at the fair hanging out with some friends because we didn't have power. And it was a beautiful night, 70-something, nice breeze, and usually it's just like absolutely disgusting at the fair. And so tonight was a nice night. We didn't have power. Screw it. We went. So I got my bucket of lemonade, so hurrah, I'm going to need insulin next week with all the sugar in this damn thing. But I got my elephant ear. I got my foot-long corn dog, and it was a good night. And made it home in enough time to get the flyer made for Shady Hill. I don't know if Tammy's already got the post on or not, so hopefully she'll use it. But if not, I'm sure it'll get posted Friday or Saturday. And the picture's going to wait one more night, and we're going to get this show knocked out so that I can go do some laundry because I'm about out of work clothes. I know it's early in the week, but I kind of did them late last week and ran through them. So, but yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and start off with Shady Hill since we're already kind of talking about it.
Yeah.
With Travis Kaler, didn't get the invite to PDC this year. I don't know if he does in previous years. I'm sure he has. He's a good talent. But he headed out east and came to Shady Hill and put on a good show with the other, I think 12. I think we had 12 or 13 modifieds. Obviously, a lot of people are out at Fairbury this past weekend with PDC. And then, as I just said, TJ Larson, not only did he win his first feature, but he set fast time with a new track record, which we don't qualify that often, so I guess that kind of happens. It has potential to happen every year.
Yeah.
And won his heat. And then poor Lynn Johns, man, led 24 3/4 laps. And TJ Larson just got up on the outside and got a little bit more of a run, and momentum brought him to the line first. And so congratulations to TJ on his big first win in the late model. It's awesome to see. He was very excited, and I know there's been times where he's kind of questioned his enthusiasm for driving, but I think this certainly reestablishes that, and look forward to seeing him, competing a little bit more often, maybe finding himself his own ride.
Is that one of those get your own car? Let's see how you do in a crowd?
He did post on Facebook he was looking for a Schwartz late model for sale, And I didn't have the heart to tell him that he followed a track star for 24 3/4 laps that's for sale in his neighborhood. Um, so yeah,
I think you just did.
yeah, I guess I just did. Kyron Roundtree won the Bombers. Brian Isley won the four-banger Pro, and Trevor Day went back-to-back in the four-banger stock class. That was Shady Hill. I guess I'll go ahead and we'll talk PDC and everything kind of last week with Fairbury. They had, I think when we were last recording, we had already watched the Lincoln show, and then the Fairbury Flow Night Racing America was going on. They had 73 super late models for that one. Well, they were all kind of there for the weekend anyway, but Hudson O'Neill ended up coming out victorious in that. I think they ran like six. I think they ran 6 heats, 3 B mains to fill that field for Flow Night Racing in America. And then they had the golf outing on Thursday, raised a bunch of money for Shriners. And then Friday they had their prelim night, which saw Trey Mills Jr., Jason Fager, Sam Seawright, and Brandon Shepard win the 4 late model. They were kind of like features, 25 lap kind of conti races. I think they took the top 3 from those straight into the PDC, and then Saturday they came back with, I want to say, 2 or 3 last chance races. We saw a few guys leave. Tanner English was one of them, I know, probably the biggest one. A few other guys decided to pull out of there. It just wasn't worth. Dan Ebert, I think, was the other big name. Pull out of there. You're starting deep in this field. They're running 24 guys in these last chance showdowns, and they're taking the top 2 and they're like 12 laps. So it kind of makes sense to pull out if you got bigger fish to fry. Come back next year, and so
yeah, it's easier to work on the car when you're not fixing the car.
Right.
And I know, how often do we say you're not going to win on the first lap? 12 laps, top 2. You got to get to the front pretty quick.
And you're starting at 25th, and the guys the racers in front of you aren't slouches by any means.
Right.
Maybe a couple of them are a little bit out of place, but 90% of those fields and those last chance showdowns, could win anywhere on any given night in most fields. So the modified portion, they saw Trevor Neville, Ricky Thornton Jr., Mike McKinney, and Tyler Nicely win those kind of conti features. And then Saturday, it was Kyle Hammer winning the PDC shootout, I think it's called, which is the last chance. And he has the opportunity to take the $3,500 win or tear the check up in victory lane and start shotgun on the Prairie Dirt Classic late model field, 100 laps. And he ended up, which I think happened last year, same scenario. Guy wins, tears up the check, and then starts last in the late model main, of which we saw a great race. Trey Mills Jr., I think, led like 63 laps and then had a tire start going down, and guys were catching them, and ended up seeing Brandon Shepard win his 4th Prairie Dirt Classic feature main.
Out of curiosity, what is the difference in payout between taking that check and finishing dead last in the main?
Well, I know it's $50,000 to win, and then kind of breaks itself down a little bit. I bet it's probably close to like $1,000 or $2,000 to start.
Okay.
So it probably is beneficial to take it, but see, this is the thing about the Prairie Dirt Classic, much like they're getting ready to go to Cedar Lake for the USA Nationals. It's a crown jewel, and there's a lot of prestige.
Oh no, I totally get it, because the old Art Go Challenge, start shotgun on the field for I want to say it was like an extra $1,000 or something.
Well, that was your fast qualifier, which is a little bit different because this is a guy who had to just itch and scratch and nail just to get in there.
And like South Bend for many years, ran the Gambler, and that one it stopped at halfway. All right, hit the tail, do it again.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, it's always fun looking at those little promotional wrinkles and all the what ifs that could spiral out of them.
Yeah, and so they scheduled to start 28 on a quarter mile, which is crazy to
Yeah,
begin with. So then we
that's
throw
about twice
29.
as many as fit.
Then we throw 29 out there, and and like again, these guys are top tier. They go to
Hmm.
any weekly track and pretty much win, finish second. One hell of a show at least. And so, it was kind of funny to be at Shady Hill and see like Travis Kaler show up, and you know, I know Chase Osterhoff was gonna run Kankakee a couple weeks ago, and Spatola had committed to Farmer City that night with the Mars guys.
Hmm.
And in the dirt world, and maybe in the asphalt world too, I'm sure. But you hear about this like cherry picking stuff. All the
Right.
good guys are over here. I'm gonna run over there, and
Hmm.
so there's some rumblings about that. But honestly, it's good to see these drivers get out and try different tracks when they have the opportunity.
Yeah.
Does it look like cherry picking? Yeah, hell yeah. But ultimately, Travis got a good draw started on the pole, and we know how Shady Hill can be sometimes one lane.
Hmm.
And, I mean, there was still some good racing, and there was still a little bit of character to the track. I'm sure the
Yeah.
drivers would say a lot of character, but compared to previous weeks, it looked like a little character, as
Hmm.
opposed to excessive by any means. But it's good to see these guys get out and win when they have the opportunity, and race at
Right.
other tracks when they have the
Yeah.
opportunity. And if they can win, awesome. They get a trophy or a check depending on where you're at and what victory lane provides you by any
Right.
means. But I want to say Travis posted like it was his first time in 20 years out there.
Hmm.
So that's it's awesome to see that, and congrats to him on the win. And boy, Tim Sullivan Jr. gave him everything he had. It wasn't an easy win
Hmm.
for Travis. Unfortunately, Tim has to take his second place and be happy with it. But all in all, it was a good race out there for those guys.
Good.
So finish up with Saturday over at Fairbury. Brandon Shepard won his fourth PDC, and Cole Falloway won the modified portion of the Prairie Dirt Classic. And yes, they did crown Zeke McKenzie as the Summit National Hell Tour champion this year out there. What else? Oh, they had 86 super late models in Friday night for this year's running of the PDC, which
Jeez.
how often do we talk about driver lists,
Yeah.
expected driver lists, and people
Hmm.
like wanting to see those and everything, and good on tracks for doing their best to give them out, but you kind of got to be weary about it, if one driver on there doesn't show up, and now all of a sudden
Right.
false advertisement and bullshit and whatnot.
Hmm.
You give us, we talk about it. You give us 6 to 12 drivers, and they can put on a great show, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's more about quality than it is quantity, and we try to do our best to push that, especially in an expensive sport like this.
Yeah.
It's not cheap to put a late model on the ground every week
Hmm.
and get out there and be competitive. And you know, asphalt asphalt track conditions change quite a bit, but I'm not sure what changes. I feel like dirt tracks are just ever changing until it kind of gets too
Well,
long, and it
I
is
say
what
yeah.
it is.
Asphalt changes week to week. Dirt changes lap to lap.
Yeah. So anyway, overcoming track conditions. Congratulations to the winners out at Shady Hill, winners at Fairbury. There's a good weekend full of dirt racing. We got to see, if you watched the Brickyard 400, which I slept through all of it, woke up for I think the last 2 laps, and we got
Yeah.
Corey Heimwin, who at a 24 years old, which makes him the youngest Brickyard 400 winner since Jeff Gordon did it in 1994.
Hmm.
So that was cool to see. And I'm not sure what team Corey's racing for. I thought it was 2311, but good to see these
No.
guys. Is it not 23?
It's not 2311. I don't think,
Because
but I'm not sure
because
who
I
it
thought
is.
when him and Reddick were going at it in San Diego, they were talking about them being teammates.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe he does. I don't know.
Anyway, Heimtime pulled it
He
off.
might. Yeah, I think he does. He drive the other car for them? I don't know. Don't listen to me. I know as much as I know about asphalt racing locally, and that's about it.
Well, it's good to see him win. He's on a tear
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
He's obviously winning San Diego and winning the Brickyard 400. Which
Mm-hmm.
side note, big Morgan Wallen fan, as you guys know, from when I skipped out on racing for the Morgan Wallen concert in Chicago. Morgan Wallen is a good luck charm down in Indy. He was on the winning race car in the Indianapolis 500 and on the winning race car in the Brickyard 400. So Morgan Wallen has some good luck ties to the
Yeah, it sounds
Indianapolis
like.
Motor Speedway. Um, yeah. Indiana Sprint Week has been going on. Talking of Indianapolis Motor Speedway, last Thursday they ran. Justin Grant won that, set a new track record, fast time. They headed to Lincoln Park on Friday, where Kyle Cummins won. They hit Kokomo on Saturday, where Kevin Thomas Jr. won. And then Sunday, they went down to Lawrenceburg, where Justin Grant picked up his second of the week. I haven't looked at Circle City from last night. Probably didn't race with all the rain. And today they're off because it's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Tomorrow they're at Paragon. Thursday they're at Terre Haute. Friday they're down in Bloomington. And then Saturday they wrap things up at Tri-State. And that's kind of it in the dirt world.
Yeah.
I know plenty went on in the asphalt world too.
Yeah.
For one thing, shout out to Jacob Slizarchek.
Yeah, pronouncing his name correctly now.
Thanks for the comment on our TikTok. Appreciate it. We're always
and verbally to me down there because he picked up fast qualifiers. So yeah, right there before national anthem, getting lessons on how to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
So yeah. So other than that, so Grundy Friday night we had the rescheduled kids night. On top of a VRS NASCAR Pure Stock Challenge, Pure Stock Special, there was a lot of stuff going on just in that division alone. Enough so much that we had a B feature for the Pure Stocks. It's been a while since we had one of those.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
we always Cheryl Ridden Racing for Kids. Pulled out 7,000 bikes. We had face painting and Hot Wheel racing and, just all the stuff that she puts on for the kids. Had the candy toss. No nickels this time, so didn't bring home any change from Grundy at least. But yeah, it was, it's always fun to see that many kids come out. I'm pretty sure there were more kids there than there were adults, at least in the early going. Ooh, excuse me. Because they were lining up to come down on the track for the candy toss, and they just kept coming up the ramps. It's like, where are all these kids coming from? So yeah, that was fun. Racing wise, double features for the NASCAR Big 8 style late models as opposed to the super late models, and the differential difference there, I guess, would be the technological stuff, tire size, maybe engine size, but they look about the same. Anyway, so double features. Steve Rubik Racing picked up both of them with Frank Baldowski winning the first, and Carter Nilsson, his first time at Grundy, his first late model feature for Rubik, picks up the win in the second pretty decisively too. That kid just set sail, and I don't think anybody really had anything for him there at the end.
Awesome.
See, it was, in addition to having the B feature for the pure stocks and double features for the late models, it kind of felt like old times. It had late models, mid-ams, street stocks, and pure stocks. So, the core divisions that Grundy's always run. Yeah. Mid-am feature picked up by Dean Patterson, his second mid-am feature out there. First this year, I think since 24, if my memory serves. So always a good time seeing Dean down in Victory Lane. Chad Bayou playing spoiler on the street stocks because it was pretty much the Brandon Reed and Christy Preisler show for the longest time until Chad got in there and snuck away with the win. And then, funny we're talking about Slizarchek, and the last couple weeks we've had kind of controversial finishes in the pure stock division with the transponder location on the car is not quite lining up with the front bumper and the start finish line. But this week, Dominic Matz winning decisively, way out in front. So congratulations to Dominic.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah, third time's a charm, really. I was actually joking with Brown Guy before that, we're going to have to start racing the pure stocks, which, by the way, Dan Schmeissing picked up the B feature win, didn't come see me in victory lane. I sure he wanted to get his car set up because immediately following the B feature was the out-of-car introductions for the A feature. So understandable, just a little bit offended.
Just a little bit.
So, I was talking to Brown Guy about, the pure stocks and all these close races. We're going to have to switch to volleyball rules where you got to win by 2 car lengths or we come around again.
Yeah.
So, and then that was the mid-am feature was kind of wrapped around intermission. We had some more asphalt issues, so Big Daddy John Stark drove his trailer out onto the front stretch and shot some T-shirts with all the mid-am cars sitting there in the front stretch while Mike and Rich, the absolute heroes of Grundy County Speedway, patching a hole that had developed in the backstretch. Who was it? That was James Dean and Matt Chester getting together and getting kind of sideways in some of that asphalt that's a little broken up and digging some of it out, so we had to get that patched. So, it was a great night. It was a little bit longer than I anticipated, especially given my quick turnaround and having to be. I'm going to do these all in Central Time so that I can remember and don't have to convert. Having to be back out at the Plymouth Motor Speedway at 8 a.m. for Mini Wedge Saturday. Because hats off to Melissa doing everything she can to work around both Plymouth schedule and the mini wedge at Kalamazoo schedule. Kalamazoo raced mini wedges on Sunday, so we couldn't race Sunday. Saturday was our really only option, and Saturday was the rescheduled double play race, which I think was originally scheduled Friday night, and they pushed it to Saturday, trying to build up the car count. And boy, did they build up the car count! So 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm at the front gate to Plymouth Motor Speedway to do some mini wedge racing. And, with Melissa still kind of under the weather and on the mend, it was inmates running the asylum again with a tight schedule. So hats off to everybody that made that show as smooth as possible. And lots of scolding to all the drivers. Those cones had families. I don't think there's a single cone that we used to mark out the track that didn't get some kind of abuse at some point during the event. So shout out to feature winners. Got in the micro wedges, Grayson Reed picking up the win again. Actually had some competition this week, so it wasn't just a gimme. The junior mini wedges, we had Maverick Shepard. Once again, he's on a tear too. That kid, literally we were talking about it last week, that kid could win mini wedge races on a big wheel. And then, forgive me a second, I need to look up a last name. Peyton Canterbury picking up the second junior mini wedge feature. And then the senior mini wedges. Now, these kids, one of them's already in a factory Ford. The other one, I'm sure, is not far behind. These kids are going to be drivers to watch. Caleb Walsh, little redheaded kid that we frequently call redheaded kid, and he is now taken to calling me yellow shirt camera guy, so I guess turnabout's fair play. Except all the camera guys that work for me wear yellow shirts. But anyway, so he picked up the first feature, and then Evan Fox picking up the second mini wedge senior feature right before he climbed into his factory Ford and raced that evening. So long day at Plymouth. We were done, I want to say, by noon our time, 1 their time, and we kind of had a hard stop at 2 because we needed to get the track cleaned and prepared for shifting over to the big cars. But made it with time to spare. I had time to go download all of the mini wedge pictures during the I guess halftime break for us, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are already posted. And thank God, because we took a lot of pictures. Shout out to Allie. She once again, digging through my camera bag, put the other camera together, and was taking all kinds of pictures. Oops, excuse me again. Everybody, if you can hold on to your gallbladders, do so, because this post gallbladder nonsense is gassy. So sorry, Larson crowd. I had to bring it up this time.
Here we go, Milkman.
That might help, actually. Anyway, so shifting over to the double play, I still honestly have no idea how the math worked out for the points and the payout. I know there was a couple teams, they got bonuses for finished positions, but nobody picked up the win both race bonus. First feature was, if my notes here are correct, first feature was Andrew DeVries picking up the win, and the second feature was Brock Gaines picking up the win. So congratulations to both of them. And honestly, the way the night went down, congratulations to everybody that survived those features. And also the local law enforcement agencies that came and assisted with some extracurricular activity going on behind the grandstand. I'd sent you and Mom a picture that I'd stolen off Facebook of the line of cop car and said, yeah, they're not used to riots at Plymouth the way Shady Hill seems to be used to having riots.
Yeah, we've our fans are passionate.
and rightly so. And passion's good. Intoxication not so much, but passion's good.
Yeah, we're passionate and intoxicated. I know beer sales are going through Left Turn Saloon pretty well.
Yeah. Let's see, what else do we have?
Fans. We did fan appreciation night. Shit, I threw out hot dogs. We threw out T-shirts.
Yeah, we'll come back to that here in a minute.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Let's see what else. Got Ryman Castle picking up the Hornet feature. Devin Danley, it was like the exact same as the last time I was out there, but backwards. Derek Danley picked up the win last time I was out there. Devin edged out Derek this time at the line for the win. And also not hats off, but condolences out to the Danley family losing their father Kevin here. I think yesterday as we're recording this, but earlier in the week as you're watching this. So yeah, heart thoughts, prayers, condolences going out to the Danley family. I know they're big supporters of us, or great friends there with the mini wedge program, and when I can get out to shoot the big car is always a good time with them. And then the four-cylinder class, Cecil von Blaricorn winning the feature there, and kind of a low turnout with that class, but I know that class is kind of piecemealed out of the mini stocks and the outlaw front wheel drive, so it's it is what it is. But yeah, great night. I think by the end of it, I was at the Plymouth Motor Speedway for 14 and a half hours. And came home, put all the stuff on the shelf, and I think I was asleep before 45 degrees.
You weren't even in bed; you were asleep.
Yeah, that was a long day, and then Sunday, got to see a little bit of NASCAR in between the downloading, editing. Took a couple laps of the fair because I'm not sure. If I'm going to have a chance to get back out there again this week. So while everything was importing, I thought, okay, let's do a lap and get some food that'll upset my system. And here I am a couple days later having had food that upset my system. Yeah, poor choices, but they tasted good on the way down.
So it's all about live your life. That gallbladder. You don't need a gallbladder.
Well, yeah, I don't have one anymore, but it's helpful when it works.
Yeah, true. Mine has been working overtime, that's for sure.
Oh, good. Take care of it.
The hot dogs and cheeseburgers, and now I got the fair in town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I guess no guests this week, as you can see. We weren't really... Truthfully, I wasn't sure we were going to have the show, which I've already said about the power being out, so... I guess everybody knows what my one positive is for the week.
There's several options. Power's back, Kelsey's back.
Certainly, it is it's very humbling to live without power, even if it was
Mm-hmm.
36 hours or less.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were really closing in on like maybe 28 hours. That was it. But
Yeah.
you don't realize the luxury uh, kind of life we live with central air and refrigeration and
Mm-hmm.
all the technology. Yeah, garage door opener.
Yeah.
You know, awesome, awesome. I think we should all be a little bit more appreciative of the world we live in.
Yeah.
And my real one positive is really just the the day at Shady Hill. It was genuinely a great day. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this kind of late in the season, even with the rainouts and the time off we've had, you get a little burnout. You kind of start wondering if what you're doing is worth it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
I say, I remember this is when you would start wandering around at Illiana taking weird pictures.
you saw my stuff from Grundy a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. I got some
Yeah.
weird ass stuff. You and thank you for saying creative and not weird. You very easily could have said weird. And I did venture out a little bit at Shady Hill and took some creative things. And as I said earlier, I'm only about halfway through, so those will hopefully be up Wednesday night. But yeah, just the day in general, the day unraveled was pretty smooth, all things considered. We do 24 shirts to shoot out into the crowd, specifically for Fan Appreciation Night. We get a case of hot dogs, Shady Hill matches, so we've got like 120 hot dogs that we throw out to the crowd. They did fan bingo and gave out some money. I mean, I think I want to say our souvenir program, lucky number program, was like doubled amount of prizes given out. So again, a good crowd.
Yeah.
Never ceases to amaze me how Shady Hill can continue to pull a crowd, but just that crowd interaction. Doing
Yeah.
the stuff that we do. Kids night is always good for Grundy. Always got a ton of kids out there, and they
Mm-hmm.
bring getting the kids involved means mom and dad got to come, or at least
Yep.
mom or dad or grandma, whoever's bringing them. Somebody's got to come and take care of them.
Right. Yeah.
But nights like that really remind us that what we're doing is the right thing, and it's all
Mm-hmm.
worth it in the end. And I did have some very positive conversations in the pits with various drivers and crew guys, namely Ethan Boozma and his dad, and Glenn Payton, our buddy Glenn Payton. And the conversation I had with him was actually really funny because he's like, I don't know what I'm doing, man. Every time I'm watching your podcast, it just cuts off. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, you get to talking about something real interesting. I'm kind of excited, and it just cuts off. I go, like, are you watching us on YouTube? And he's like, no. I go, are you listening on Spotify? Like, what are you doing? He goes, like the TikTok. And then, are you doing live? I go, those are clips. Those are just a little clip of our show. Like, we post
Mm-hmm.
it on Facebook, follow the link to YouTube. And he goes, oh, okay. He's watching our TikTok clips, and he's getting excited because he wants to, listen
Yeah.
and hear
Good news.
more.
There's more.
Yeah. He's like, I must miss your show. It just cuts off. I'm just like, I'm having a good time and laughing. And so shout out to Glenn. We got to
Yeah.
talking. He raced the limited late model class at Illiana back in the
Mm-hmm.
day, and he did do some drag racing too. So it was a good conversation with him, and the mentality to stay positive, and if you can't be positive, just kind of remove yourself from the situation,
Mm-hmm.
because dude, group think. Wow. Can we take a step back and talk about groupthink? Because with social media, that is what everybody's doing. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be racing specifically. It could be football. It could be sports. It could be art. It could be movies. It could be anything. One person says it, and then another person kind of reiterates it, and now we're gaining momentum. And next thing you know, you got
Mm-hmm.
like 30, 40 people dogging something for no reason, right?
Yep.
And certainly there's there's reason. And a lot of times it's more ego and personal than it is legitimate. You know,
Right.
I think one of the biggest gripes I hear is the favoritism at racetracks.
Mm-hmm.
How can you? I mean, I'm not in there watching the pill draw at places and how qualifying lines up for play. Like, you know, I get it. There are certainly situations that happen that very much look like favoritism,
Right.
but
I feel like you're going to have that in any sport.
I feel like we need to take a step
I
back
guess
and
any situation, really.
look at the big picture. You
Yeah.
know, is this really happening? Is it consistent?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a trend? Is it
Right.
like this happened this once and it just so happened to
Well,
be
yeah, and it's like confirmation bias, and also I don't think I've ever talked to a race car driver that's been at fault for the wreck that they were just in.
yeah, yeah. So while we're on one positive, we did have Anthony Carter have his one positive was he's positive that judgment call should not be in racing. I agree, but I mean, what kind of call are you going to get then? You know, if
Right.
it's not every call's a judgment call. It's a matter
Mm-hmm.
of how clearly did we see it. You know, on
Yeah.
asphalt, a little less dust, a little easier to see, but like you also
And
have
not necessarily. There's been a lot of wrecks, especially recently, that seemed to happen while everybody was looking at the people that were trying to wreck.
Yeah. Speaking of that, poor Carl Podell. You know, he twice ended up on the hook, and so you know he did end up catching the rut in turn 3 with his right rear, and just whether it was the rut or it was the berm, you know, you catch that right rear and your
Mm-hmm.
momentum going, you're gonna roll. You know,
Yep.
we saw Carson Ferguson do it in a violent roll last year at Eldora. I caught Baja Ben Kirchner at Kankakee towards the end of last year. You catch that right
Well,
rear slide,
even Sean Wilcher a couple of years ago at Dome with the slowest
yeah,
rollover ever.
yeah, you catch that right rear and you're going over. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's assuming you have enough momentum. You know, that's just
Right.
how racing is. That's physics. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay, the rut was there. If the rut wasn't there, we miss it. But he could have been up in the berm and caught the berm instead. Not that there's much one at Shady Hill ever.
Well, I mean, you can do that in an asphalt car, and there isn't a rut. There's not a berm in an asphalt car. I've seen people just overcorrect coming out of the turn, and it's enough to get the chassis off balance, and they go over.
Yeah. So props to him for surviving, and props to him and his, I assume, dad and brother and whoever else worked on that car because they got it back out for the feature to make some laps. So
Mm-hmm.
that was awesome. And his one positive was the car drove after the roll, but I want to he
Yeah.
broke something in the front end. I think ended up on the hook in the heat. Came back, was running second in the B feature, stuck the hole, rolled it, brought it back over, towed it back in, fixed it up, got it rolling again, and made some laps in the feature. So props to him for perseverance, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And that was his one positive. Let's see. John Burns learned a lot and was able to drive his car off in one piece. That's certainly a positive for any
Yeah.
racetrack, any race.
Absolutely. Anytime you can drive it on the trailer at the end of the night is a good night. I don't care where you finished or how much money you made.
That's a win. Eddie Wolf, speaking of winning, Eddie Wolf comments and says Clay Kurtz wins, and it looked like on his Facebook post from Clay Kurtz Racing, I believe, that they had a rough go of it out there, but ended up winning
Mm-hmm.
at the Dells. Devin Eggert and Carter Nilsson, because he commented on the comment here, but Carter Nilsson's first late model win out of
Yep.
Grundy County Speedway is their one positive. Didn't think I'd be a positive 2 weeks in a row, but here we are. Jake Straka comments he got to talk to the picture taker guy before the races.
In the yellow shirt.
Yeah, in the yellow shirt. Yeah, so that was Lakeshore Jake's one positive. I already mentioned Carter. About the water, which is your buddy Bill Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Says, he's no car guy, but the little nub with the plus sign painted is positive.
Hey, you know,
That's his
if nothing else, that's accurate.
yeah. CJ Hooper says awesome mid-am show at the Dells, which Clay Kurtz won. If you didn't
Mm-hmm.
know. And then we have, I didn't think TJ would say this, but TJ Larson's didn't wreck Kyle's car.
Yeah.
Is that sarcasm? Because he said everything there. He's got the track record. He's got the best win of the season in the late model class.
But, it circles back around to you drive it on the trailer at the end of the night.
Right. And his brother Travis, our buddy out in North Carolina, who's getting ready to race without a wrap. That's on me. I lost power for 2 days. Had a good enough signal to watch TJ make his last corner heroic pass, as well as set fast time and win his heat. So a lot of positives, a lot of interaction again, which when I say a lot, I'm comparing to previous weeks where we had none, and now we're in double digits.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's exciting. That's positive.
It is.
While we're at it, I guess, what's your one positive?
Excuse me.
Dabbled on
being able to swallow this water and keep it in the right pipe.
Yeah.
My one positive is going to be a little bit of a split between one positive and shout out, because my coworkers Kara and Lou made it out to Shady Hill this week. So shout out to them for coming to. Well, I guess not really coming to see me at work because I was at Plymouth, but going to get dirty and having a good time, all things considered. I know they left kind of early because we were talking about me being on the way home from Plymouth and having to stop by and let Miller out there about midnight when I was getting back to Porter County.
Yeah, Miller, thanks you for that. That's why he came
I'm
down.
Sure. I'm sure he was excited to see me.
Yeah.
As Kara had asked about what time I was coming back through, and so about midnight, Brian said, let Miller out. They got one more race. And she said, they had one more race. So they snuck out, I'm sure, a little early. And Lou, funny story. Lou was very, very upset that TJ snuck through on that last corner win because she was rooting for Lynn Johns.
Yeah. And
so
those restarts, man, Lynn had him on every restart.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know what it is about that turn that Lynn coughed up just a little bit too much, and TJ he said send it, and he sent it on the high side. Boy, that was awesome to watch.
I'm sorry I missed that, but I'm glad other people got to enjoy it. So shout out to them. Kara. Well, I guess Lou brought Caleb, Kara's son, up to peruse the wares at the Goodacre photography booth. Later in the night, she texted me a picture of her pink and black checkered flag and GP sticker and whatever else they got. So my one positive, though, is actually Monday morning when we were at work, and Kara looks over at me and says, I can see why you do that every week.
Oh, awesome.
As I don't know if Kara's ever been to a race before, but I know like I'm sure you get a lot too. Racing, it's just cars driving in circles. And how often have we said, on TV, it's cars driving in circles.
Yeah.
Being there in the stands live is a completely different experience.
Oh yeah.
So
I had some coworkers this week go down to the Brickyard.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Miller Lite's a big sponsor.
Oh, they were the two people that were there.
And Dallas was down there with his wife and kids, and
mm-hmm.
They've done some NASCAR stuff, but another driver who I didn't think he was really into the whole racing thing, but you get tickets to go do stuff, you go do them, and I want to say like last year or the year before, work was handing out tickets from Miller Lite, and I obviously turned them down because I think we were busy at mini wedges or something,
mm-hmm.
and I saw on his Facebook that him and his daughter were able to land a Carson Hocevar shirt and autograph.
There you go.
Cool. And then
NASCAR man.
Oddly enough, for yesterday at work, so Monday at work, we're both at the fuel pump at the same time, and he was telling me all about it. And
mm-hmm.
With social media, obviously I already knew. So he was telling me, and I go, yeah, you should come down to Shady Hill sometime. Like not that we had Hell Tour come through, but some of these NASCAR guys, man, they get off the tour and come do some dirt late model stuff. You never know what you're gonna find, and you can just walk up to people. And I actually told them about as we come up to what's upcoming here, Plymouth has their Thursday, August 6th show. The asphalt pavement, whatever the hell they're called. And Tony Stewart and Ryan Newman are going to be there, and he, that certainly piqued his interest. So, it's really cool to see these NASCAR teams open up their contracts and let these guys go do some other stuff. Larson and everything he does.
Yeah.
Hocevar and everything he does. I think Hocevar is the new Larson. I mean, he's driving
kind of
Money in the Bank. He's driving Slinger Nationals. He's driving Flow Night in America.
And Aaron's going to yell at me for saying this, but he's almost a new Earnhardt, where he's making the headlines, good or bad. He's putting eyes on the sport.
Yeah. And him and his teammates started front row at the Brickyard, So you just kind of everything kind of comes together, and he's certainly a pretty boy. You see him get out of his car and his flow and everything. He's certainly a pretty boy.
He seems to have struck the interest of what's her name from TikTok. Dating that, or not dating, but going to the race with NASCAR, man. So there's that's bringing that's the big thing we've been talking about this entire season, is getting, and Buju hit on this too. If you haven't watched Buju's latest episode, do it.
Bleachers and features.
Yes, he hit on
features,
getting bleachers and features. He hit on getting promotional stuff out of the circle.
Yeah.
So Tab, whatever her name is, and forgive me for being old. She's bringing eyes to NASCAR that wouldn't be on NASCAR. You look at like WWE, for instance, had the Total Divas show that got Steph Rockwell, one of our mutual friends, into wrestling. She nothing to wrestling, but there's these people that are on this show on E. What do they do? So we got these TikTok influencers that are hanging out with NASCAR man. Well, maybe that'll cause people to, what's NASCAR man all about? What is this thing with cars that drive in circles?
And Carson's fun. He's a little reckless, but he's fun. He's fun. I loved his Talladega celebration. It was as crazy as the Ross Chastain ride the wall. Don't do it, but we're going to promote it because it's awesome.
Right.
Kind of.
That one, I think they were smart enough to say, you know what, we're going to allow that one.
Do it, yeah. Well, and also it wasn't necessarily a performance thing.
Right. It wasn't dangerous.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't safe, but it.
Right. It wasn't changing the outcome of the race.
Right.
Whereas Ross, as cool as it was, did.
Yeah, that had some Michael Waltrip racing implications.
And certainly gray area, which, as we know as race fans and kind of getting to see behind the curtain, gray area does not mean you can do it.
Right.
Gray area means you can't.
Although,
you can try it, but
Smokey Unick sure used up all that gray area, so I'm sure everybody else is too.
After they find it, you doing it, it's no longer going to be gray area. It's going to be black and white. So.
Yeah, like the Ray Evernham T-Rex car. Everything's legal. It won't be tomorrow.
Yep.
So, so my one positive really coming out of all that is that's not really one positive, but take a friend to a race.
Yeah.
It is, and who was I talking to about this? I don't remember, but it is actually no, it was Bill. It's the most addictive thing ever. If you want to keep your kids off drugs, get them into racing.
America's hot, nasty, badass speed, baby.
Yeah.
Horse.
So
it's a lot of fun.
With it being summer break, Caleb's been at work, kind of on and off because Tara has to work and her husband has to work, so. Blythe's kind of the de facto babysitter for a few hours until Grandma can come pick him up. But yeah, Caleb's excited. He wants to go back racing. Awesome. Kara sounds like she wanted to go back racing. Yeah. Bring a friend with you to the racetrack.
They know where to find us every Saturday night.
Yep. I was actually pushing, and we're going to skip ahead a little bit here, pushing we got trailer racing at Grundy coming up this weekend. We got the 5-0 for Special Olympics, which I think is the scariest event that I have ever had to shoot. Like even the trailers, I'm up in the flag stand, I'm safe. The cops running the third mile, 3/8, whatever you want to argue. Anyway, the cops running the Crown Vics at Grundy. That is scary. You
Yeah.
know, way back when like the pure stocks first started Illiana, and it was, you know, who are these people and what are they doing? Do they know how to drive
45
a
of
car?
them,
Have
and
they ever driven a car? They were scary.
half of them were just duct tape or spray paint numbers with the glass punched
Uh
out.
huh. Uh huh.
And it's really neat to see some of these 5 guys turn into
Yeah.
full time
Yeah.
guys.
They raced that one race, and all of a sudden they're coming back every week.
Yeah, I know. I know a few, maybe not the driver necessarily, but like maybe Bayou got behind the wheel of one that
Mm
was intended for the 5 race. Our buddy Adam Tebow,
hmm. Mm hmm.
you know,
Yeah, I think he started with the
big
5.0.
big
I know a
supporter of.
couple, Ken Norbit,
Yep.
Nate Haubenreiser. There's a few others that, you know, they're not there every week, but they're definitely there more than just the 5.0 race. So
Yeah, that's awesome to see
it's
that.
like I said, this
Go
is the
outside your
ultimate
circle.
addiction.
If you want to grow, you got to get outside your circle.
Yep, that's the thing. And should we issue a challenge this week? Maybe, you know, we'll do a one positive on Sunday. But our challenge for you, the listener, this week is open up your wallet if you have to. Um, Bring a friend, pay their way in. Don't necessarily buy their food. Food can be expensive, but you know, bring a friend to the racetrack. Get them. God, this sounds terrible, but get them hooked too.
We're just over here dealing drugs. Great.
uh, well, maybe let's not say that. We are on YouTube. Um, Definitely wanting people, you know, to experience racing firsthand. There is absolutely nothing like it. And watching on TV is, you know,
Boring.
as much as you'd be surprised what you can pick up watching it on ESPN. Not that NASCAR's on ESPN anymore. And yes, that was a Days of Thunder quote. Um, it is a whole different animal being there live, and really the best way to experience local racing anyway. I know there were some complaints about Indianapolis being, you know, the size of a state and you can't see the whole track, but you know, there's a lot of bull rings around where you can see the entire track and all of the people.
Yeah, and afterwards you can go get up close to the cars. If you
Yeah, you
find
can
yourself
meet
an
those people.
autograph, if you find yourself an autograph night, we got another one coming up here in a few weeks at Shady Hill. I know
Hmm.
Labor Day weekend is always the second one for Grundy. Um, those are awesome events that you get to get up close to the cars
Yeah, I
and the
was
drivers and talk and converse and learn a little bit and say some things.
I was talking to somebody. I think might have been. I'm not going to throw anybody into the bus here. I was talking to somebody this weekend about why we do out of car introductions. You know, we did out of car introductions for the pure stocks this week, and I know Steve has kind of made it a goal. I guess not really a goal because we're doing it, but he planned every division gets one night where they do out of car introductions because you got to have that kind of driver fan interaction. You know, how we grew up, that was really not a thing. You know, maybe for the Bettenhausen at the end of the year, you did out of car
Argo races.
introductions, Argo races, but you know, if we're walking around the pits, you know, middle of the season, who are all these people? You know, I don't know what any of the drivers look like.
I still do that.
Right, and we're you know, it's our job to know who these drivers are.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I know I'm guilty of it too. I'm getting better.
I,
You know,
I love
I
the driver suit because I can at least
that helps a lot.
tell
Yeah,
who it is. And if as long as it's the driver that's on the car, that helps out a
yeah,
lot.
that helps
But we get
because
a
I
lot of
know
one-offs.
up through my youth, I know I could associate a driver's name with a car and a number, but I don't know what anybody looks like.
Right.
So
Yeah, we get a
it's
lot of
important
one-offs.
and it's a good idea to get that facial recognition. You know, and I the I guess I'm ranting this week. Um, I saw a Facebook.
Go ahead.
It was either one that I saw or one that you'd shared with me. One of the things is, you know, a way to get fan driver interaction
I
is
share it
bring up.
with you, Treb Jacoby.
Yes, that was it. Thank you. It's been apparently a discussion point across Facebook this week is how to get more butts in seats. and fan interaction, I think we hit on fairly early was that's the way to get butts in seats is make the show worth being at, worth paying money for. And yeah, one of the things was when the like the lower class division, not the lower class division, but the support classes aren't racing, bring them up in the stands, introduce them to people, have autograph, like the Mid Am series last year, the Bettenhausen weekend. That was one of their big shows. They had a whole autograph. They didn't bring the cars up, but they brought all the drivers, set up some tables. Here's all the Mid Am drivers. Meet them, get some driver cards, which it's never too late or never too early to put in your order for driver cards. So get that going.
It can certainly be too late.
It can certainly be too late, but it's never too early. I've got one going out this week, and actually I had some decals delivered Saturday, because Saturday was autograph night for Plymouth, and a good handful of the mini wedges stuck around for that. So that's awesome. Another thing too is involving the support classes, involving your mini wedges or your juice box. I want to say, looking forward a bit. The juice box races are on the schedule for Grundy this weekend. I can't remember if it's Friday or Saturday, but I know we're going to have juice box racing, with the regular racing. And we've talked
with it being back to school night.
Probably Friday, yeah. I know I saw a post, but it's been a couple days since I've seen it, so don't quote me on that. Look up the Cheryl Rinn Racing for Kids Facebook page. I'm sure she's shared it several dozen times by now. But yeah, it's I feel like to a certain extent there's a little bit of elitism in racing. There's a lot of people and
look how many photographers leave after the sexy
exactly. I was just gonna say I've seen the stands on nights that super late models aren't racing at Grundy, and I've seen the stands on nights the super late models are racing at Grundy after the super late models race. I think when we were growing up, that was one of our weird things is we stayed for the entire show. We stayed all the way until the last street stock pulled off the track, and then we went into the pits. And there's a lot of people that they take off after the main division when a lot of times that's not even the best race of the night.
Right. Yeah. Crown Vics usually put on a good race.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we've talked about it multiple times here. The pure stocks out there at Grundy have been absolute great races. Sixers put on a good race a couple weeks ago. Obviously, the late models put on a good race here at Shady Hill. Yeah, I mean, there's great racing all around, and I said late models, but typically the bomber class is probably the best show of the night, week in, week out, out at Shady Hill. They also draw the most cars typically, but yeah, I mean that's what it is, and yeah, that elitism, the sexy car, the horse,
which I get it. I like those cars too.
Yeah, and they photograph very nicely. But understandably, that's not why we're there.
Right.
We're there to support the track and everything they need. But we also understand that, these family and friends of this, low budget driver just getting into the scene driver that's in the bombers, that's in the 4-cylinders, that's in the Sixers, that's in the mini wedges. I mean, mini wedges is awesome because mom and dad buy everything for other kids, and that's kind of like our business model a little bit. That's who we really kind of try to go after. Moms and dads and girlfriends and wives. They really enjoy having those photographs.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we will. I remember Kels texting me last year during the Summer Nationals at Kankakee. You don't have to stay the whole time. You got to work tomorrow. And what did I do? I stayed the whole time. And I made it to work on time. I was exhausted, but I stayed till the last car pulled off, made my way through the pits. And, I do believe I don't think I stopped and talked to anybody. I think I just packed my bag. I don't even think I packed my bag. I think I grabbed my bag, walked fast to my Jeep, threw everything in the back and took off. I don't even think I put the cards in the computer until I got home from work. Probably would have been like Wednesday. It was probably Thursday. I think it was Wednesday last year. So, yeah. I stay because that's who I am. That's what I do. That's what
Mm-hmm.
we do.
Yeah.
And we understand that those the support classes are really what drive the future of racing, and we've said
Right.
that 1,000 times too.
Mm-hmm.
So bring a friend and enjoy, as much as you can tolerate, really.
Yeah.
If you can't do
And build that
the
tolerance up too.
yeah, if you can't do the midnight 1 a.m. bit, on some nights, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And I, stand in the infield as features, peel off and the clock strikes midnight. You see it just thin and thin and thin,
Yeah.
and that's kind of a nice thing when you do rotate classes. People can leave earlier,
Right.
whatever. If you don't, the four cylinders are done first this week or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to go, they can go. And next week late models will be first.
Right.
And so if they happen to run late one week and not the next, sort of thing, gives you that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's some gripes from being the last and second to last classes at Shady Hill, because there's times we run pretty late, but
Yeah.
I think still we're doing a good job. Midnight 1 o'clock is really not that late in the racing world,
Right.
because I mean,
And for us coming back, we it's like 5 minutes to get home.
yeah, right, because of the time change. Yeah,
Yeah. It takes 2 hours to get there, but.
I want to say I'm pretty sure it still takes me 45 minutes to get home. It doesn't matter what time
Well,
I
I
get home.
know, back when Dad and I were going to South Bend the year after Illiana closed just to watch, it was always a rush to get out there. But then on the way home, it's like, well, I got to be at work in 8 hours, but really, it's I got to be at work in 9 hours. So
Yeah,
I got enough time to go home and actually sleep.
yeah,
And
yeah.
threw that out as soon as we started shooting.
Right, right. So, shout out to Kara. Well, shout out to Lou for bringing Kara,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Shout out to Kara for agreeing and Caleb
dipping,
for getting hooked.
dipping into that, search outside the circle to help grow the
Mm-hmm.
sport,
Yeah.
and we'll we'll do this thing together, We'll get outside our circle. We'll invite people that don't necessarily do it for fun, and hopefully get them to start doing it for fun,
Yeah.
And again, it's the we work for the tracks, and we're there
Mm-hmm.
every week because that's our commitment. Unless
Yeah,
I have a
but I
beer
mean,
call
I know us. I've
but
been us. We're
but
there
getting
anyway.
right, but getting even if they just come out once or twice a year, man, just
Yeah.
just some consistent support. That's get people interested, get people excited about it again. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it, one of my biggest fears is not so much that we lose racing as a whole, just because of the bad, a lot of negativity and expense. But I one of my biggest fears is that like legislation will change in
Yeah.
DC, and like gasoline won't be a thing, and so horsepower won't be a thing, and like when we went down to PRI and saw those electric cars, like
Mm-hmm.
you ever hear an electric lawnmower? There's no sound.
I've
That,
heard some electric cars that live in the apartment next to mine, and
it's
I kind of I'm
like a
a
jet engine.
little on edge because like I hope they're paying attention because I can't hear them.
Yeah, like and like maybe not in our lifetime, maybe in our lifetime. I don't know. Like that's kind of one of my fears is like we lose the real horsepower and the sound
Mm-hmm.
and okay, we got fast cars that are electric and we're saving the planet with being green or whatever, but nothing compares to that sound
Mm-hmm.
of those horses, screaming, coming out of the turn to the checkered flag to beat Lynn Johnson by this much, and it's
And man, we really are one tonight. That kind of I think I shared with you. It was a
all jacked up
snippet.
on Mountain Dew.
I see that. A snippet of a Dale Jr. interview about North Wilkesboro and
Yeah,
how
yeah, you
it
sent that to me.
really it's not about North Wilkesboro as North Wilkesboro. It's about what the racetrack means, all the memories associated with it, and all the the emotional ties we have to whichever racetrack it is, be it Illiana, Grundy, Raceway Park, Santa Fe, South Bend, Crown Point, Plymouth, Shady Hill, Boswell, Sycamore, M40, Mottville, Kalamazoo. I'm running out of tracks. Pick up here.
You say Hartford,
Yeah, Hartford,
Circle City, Farmer City, Fairburn.
Yeah, there's a lot of racetracks still around, thank God. There's a lot of racetracks that aren't around anymore.
Yeah,
so
Peoria's done. They're still closing up.
I guess so. This is kind of a plea to both save the racetracks we have, bring a friend, support everything. Because I mean, unless you completely stumbled across this page, spontaneously, I guess is what I'm looking for there. Which shout out to YouTube for putting us up in your suggested feed. But
yeah.
But if you're here watching this, there's a pretty good chance you've heard of racing at some point, and are at least interested enough to have watched us for this long. And thank you for that.
Yeah. Yes, appreciate you tagging along for this hour-long rant.
Yeah, but on that note, we do have some events coming up this weekend that you should definitely consider attending.
We sure do. Let's see. I guess we'll start with Friday night at Grundy.
Of course, we're going to start with Friday night at Grundy because I don't have the flyer pulled up yet.
Friday night at Plymouth that we think is a season championship. Follow them on Facebook.
Why are you making me do all the work all of us?
I'm not making you do any work. I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess Friday comes first.
We believe that Plymouth has their season championship this Friday. That's the last we reported, and we do know that they are.
There we go.
They do change on the fly, so pay attention.
Yep, Friday, July 31st is season championship. They don't have.
So crazy to think.
It's it's kind of a throwback to the South Bend days and trying to go up against Notre Dame football. I get it. So yeah, they've got.
Start for like a month. It starts Labor Day.
It is what it is. I don't know.
Kids are back in school.
We are starting to get into kids are back in school. We're starting to get in the end of the season. Big races all over the place.
Yeah.
So they're wrapping up their points racing. Still plenty on the docket after that, because Thursday they've got the Bentley Warren Classic, which we alluded to earlier with Tony Stewart. Yeah, the Thursday the 6th, which is
August 6th. Thursday.
Yeah, which will be after this is posted. So Thursday, August 6th. Bentley Warren Classic. Tony Stewart, Ryan Newman going to be on property there at the Plymouth Motor Speedway. As the All-Star National Pavement Midget Series is who's there, plus the Hornet division. I know there was some discussion trying to get some Grundy Pure Stocks to go join in with the Hornet division. So I'm planning on being out there. Aaron's planning on being out there, supporting our guys that want to travel, because I mean, we make the trip out to Plymouth. You guys can too. I know everybody says, "Man, you drive all that way every week." Yeah, well, we're idiots. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, we're idiots, all right.
So over out west on Friday, July 31st is back to school night. Backpacks and school supplies from Cheryl Wren Racing for Kids. And she's had a rough couple weeks, just her 2 events back to back that way. So shout out to everything that she does, because Cheryl is just kind of a magician, pulling off everything she does, especially when
she's got a great support system too. I know
she does. Yeah,
is hands on with her quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I think I talked to Alexis more this weekend than I did Cheryl. Let's see what else we got. NASCAR Mid-Am's going to be the highlight division there, plus the Action Truck Parts Crown Vics, the Sixers, the Midwest Super Cups, and the Midwest Pavement Midget Series, which I think there's a little bit of overlap there. I know the David Ward owned cars have been racing both, so that's about half of the division, honestly. And then the big one on August 1st, the original Figure 8 Trailer Race of Destruction. I'm going to say sponsored by Olson's Iron Disposal and Recycling. Big Daddy John Stark had me throw their logo on the flyer. I think they've donated some dumpsters, probably put some money up. So shout out to them for supporting that, because I mean, God knows you're going to need some dumpsters. I've seen the cleanup from that race. You've seen the cleanup from the Illiana races.
Crash Fest.
And on the same night, we've got 5-0 racing for Special Olympics. Who is the fastest cop? There's usually about 20-something cars, all raising money for Illinois Special Olympics, which is awesome. They always do a check presentation. It's typically a pretty sizable sum of money going to a great cause there. And then the wildest Crown Vic race you will ever see, because not everybody in that race, I think, really knows their way around the racetrack. But it is definitely fun to watch. Support classes, and this is going to sound weird saying this is support classes for that night. The NASCAR Big 8 style double late models running double features again, and the VRS Village Realty Pure Stocks racing that night too. GrundySpeedway.com. Get your tickets early to save $5 off the ticket price. There, to get all my my promo stuff in there.
Wow, look at you.
I'm getting better at this.
Look at you. Can't get keys off.
Oh, that was fast. Jeez.
Head out that way and support the Kankakee County Fair. They are the 29th, which starts tomorrow as we're recording, yesterday as we're posting, or 2 days ago as you're watching, 3 days ago as you're watching, through Sunday.
If you're watching this, it's already going on.
Yeah, so head out that way. Get yourself an elephant ear. Get yourself a big old bucket of lemonade. Get yourself some diabetes.
And watch your gallbladder.
Yeah. The fair is not a great place to eat if you're watching your gallbladder.
I'm going to say, yeah. If you can find some non-fatty food at the fair, let me know.
Yeah. We'll be back racing out there Friday, August 21st. So we still got a few weeks off here. So head out to Farmer City, head out to Grundy, head out to Plymouth, find yourself a Friday night speedway if you want some Friday night horsepower. Shady Hill coming up this week, August 1st, is the American Sprint Car Tour makes their return. Not racing the Vanderhaag Inc. Bombers this week, so it's just the Sprint Car Tour plus JB West Rebel Late Models, Condo and Sons 4-bangers, Pro and Stock, and the Feed Barn Modifieds on the docket there. And then big race. We are bringing super late models in this year. We have on August 8th, next weekend, the Ultimate Heart of America Super Late Model Tour. I know last year they came to Montpelier. I think maybe this year they also came to Montpelier. It might have been the Valvoline American Ironman Super Late Model Series that went to Montpelier. But nonetheless, we're bringing in supers, and the Rebels will be off that night. But, of course, have the opportunity to run with the Ultimate Heart of America Super Late Model Tour, which I believe is West Virginia-based. So we should see some East Coast-ish Ohio guys, Kentucky guys head on over and race with us. Haven't really been following the tour. Not sure who to expect, what to expect. I know they were in town a few years ago, which I believe is when Tyler Erb showed up while he was in trouble with the World Outlaw Tour for his threats against Bobby Pierce and fighting at truck stops. So he showed up, he ran that tour and won. It was awesome to see him. So not sure we'll get Turbo back, but certainly we'll get some decent late models out there and have a good show. And then Fairbury has their weekly Falls Cup and the Bang Bangers again out there at the America's Dirt Track, I think is what their slogan is. But yeah, so another full weekend of racing, plenty to go to. Watch the weather. I'm not sure what it looks like. I think I did see some rain in the forecast.
There's always rain in the forecast. I'm looking for 70 and sunny.
That was today. But yeah, so thanks everybody for tagging along and listening or watching, whatever it is you're doing. We certainly appreciate it. Shout out to all of our supporters.
Yeah, I saw Dirty Bob at the fair Sunday when we were there.
Oh, awesome.
He kind of not so subtly suggested that maybe we should bid on one of the pigs here in the auction, which I think might have been today.
Yeah. I know Indiana Beverage does usually end up with a pig, and then we do a big hog roast at work. So vicariously, we will bid on a pig. Not sure that Good Acre Photography is quite in the bidding game for blue ribbon pigs over at the county fair. Maybe one day if we sell some more hats and shirts.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks to our supporters, S4 Motorsports and Stan, everything they've done for us. Damn it videos. Appreciate you, James. Always capturing great footage out there at the Grundy County Speedway from the top row.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, our buddy Bob Schwartz, Dirty Bob, over at After Hours Mowing. If you need your lawn,
especially after the storms went through, everybody's grass got to be a mile high now.
Yeah, pretty close.
What's left of it, anyway.
Yes. Thank you, Mom and Julie, for working our booths for us and doing a great job there. Thanks, Aaron, for tagging along with Chris. I know he appreciates it and filling in for me when I've got concerts.
And definitely offering his Jim Cornette-esque shoot interviews on the way to and from the racetrack. You know, you gotta love Aaron. He's never shies away from letting people know how he feels, and for the most part, I agree with him.
Yeah.
So we're discussing with Aaron possibly doing a segment here where he comes on and shares the way he says things, but we're working on that.
Yeah, we got some fine tuning. Maybe it'll help us get some more viewers.
There you go.
That would be fun. That would be a good time. But,
well, maybe we'll have a second show. I just Aaron will do the shorts channel where he voices his opinion. It can be very, very much a shoot from the hip. Stream of consciousness, I guess, thing.
Illiana
need to get Aaron on TikTok.
Oh God. Yeah, whatever draws up the views, right?
Yeah.
Content creation.
Right. Controversy is something.
Yeah. Support those that support racing. If you see advertisers and sponsors on the cars, on the backstretch, in the lucky number souvenir programs, be sure to provide. Yeah. Support them, use them.
Yeah, let them know where you saw them, when you saw them
at the racetrack. Yeah, and I know all those advertisers and sponsors appreciate that. They're spending a lot of money to let us do what we love, and supporting them is the best way to give back. Not everybody needs $1,000 furnace, but maybe somebody that knows somebody. Say, hey, use this guy or this lady or this company.
Everybody needs a lawn mowed. Yeah,
use After Hours Mowing. In fact, I should probably use After Hours Mowing. I'm so busy and haven't had power. I'm just full of excuses to not mow the lawn. But thanks again to everybody for listening. We appreciate you wholeheartedly, and look forward to seeing you at the racetrack.
And your friend.
Bring a friend.